Jim to Market Michelle. Inside the 10. Market Michelle. Touchdown. Mitchell steps up. Through a cross body to Michelle. Market Michelle. Touchdown. They strengthen their hold on first place in the West.
Manziel throwing. It's a touchdown. And what a way to record your first CFL touchdown pass. That was promising from the Owls, but they don't get the win.
Well, the comeback season's been a struggle, but he is coming off his best CFL start. Johnny Manziel throwing a couple of touchdown passes last week against the Riders. His Owls' playoff hopes hanging by a thread. His counterpart, best in the business right now. Bo Levi Mitchell has passed Mike Riley as the top-rated QB in the game. And Bo has won everywhere except Montreal. He'll try to remedy that today. We'll try to remedy our appetites as well and dig into some Thanksgiving feast. When we can, we're going to talk football first, so we're just going to hang on and wait. Hopefully you've already enjoyed yours or enjoying it now. Happy Thanksgiving, Canada, and welcome to the CFL on TSN Holiday Doubleheader. Rod Smith, Jim Barker, Matt Dunnigan did a great job cutting that bird, by the way. Milt Stiegel as well. Well, very different things at stake for Calgary and Montreal right now. What are you watching for in this game, Jim?
Well, I see for Calgary starting to get playoff focus and do the things they have to do to win a Grey Cup. But I'm still excited to watch Johnny Manziel for the first time ever against he'll have an all-Canadian offensive line in front of him with John Blake moving out to play left tackle.
Yeah, Philip.
Philip Blake.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be critical for those guys to protect Johnny against this defense. And the only way I think, what are you doing, Alan?
Hey!
And
we were told to wait.
And I can tell you that Big Willie Standback to establish him and against Jameer Thurman and Alex Singleton, a lefty. I saw him signing that autograph with his left hand. I think that's going to be a critical matchup for Montreal to get that run game going to have a chance against Calgary.
I'm with Jim. I'm still interested about Johnny Manziel. And I know some of it has died down, but and you know we do a little segment, so what? Your offensive line is struggling.
Hurry up, Milt.
So what? Your receiving core is not the best. So what? You're playing against the Calgary Stampeders. So what? This is Johnny's chance to shine, going against the best team in the CFL. So I'm looking forward to Johnny Manziel playing well. There you go.
Okay. We're looking forward to turkey and football. In that order.
What do you go, Milt?
We'll head to the park after this. Protect the turkey.
Protect Manziel.
Pressure, and they get him. Micah Johnson with a big sack.
Get off the field, buddy! Sack!
Gables fumbled the football, and Calgary gets it back.
It's intercepted. Goodbye. Touchdown. Shakira Davis.
John Richards of Medicine Hat, Alberta. You can win groceries for a year if a kickoff's returned for a touchdown in this game, thanks to Safeway Sobeys $1 Million touchdown to win promotion. And if a second kickoff is returned for a TD in this one, you could also win $1 million. Good luck, John. Thanksgiving, Part 1 to Rod Black and Dwayne Ford.
Happy Thanksgiving, Canada. A day that poultry meets pigskin here at Molson Stadium in Montreal. A day to say thanks to our great country, our great way of life, and the great game of Canadian football.
Indeed. Got a couple of great Canadian middle linebackers we'll be keeping an eye on today. Alex Singleton, 88 tackles to lead the Calgary Stampeder defense. And over on the Montreal defense, of course, Enoch Muamba also closing in on 100 tackles. They rank second and third, respectively, in the CFL in that department.
Well, a mismatch on paper. 3-11 Alouettes. Mike Sherman, his team, just hanging on by their last breath. Faint hope here in the East, and Dave Dickinson and his Calgary Stampeders. Chance to move a little closer to solidifying a hold on the West Division crown. an 11-2 record. Owls have lost 3 straight. Stamps have won 2 in a row. Boris Bede will kick it off. Stamps won the toss, and they take the football right away. Wind is blowing behind Boris Bede. Happy Thanksgiving to you all as we get it underway here in Montreal. Terry Williams back at his goal line, and he is going to be brought down before his 20-yard line. Bo Levi Mitchell and the Calgary Stampeders. Bo's done so many things. He's done so many things in what has already been a brief and glorious career. He's never won in this city.
Yeah, and you know, much said about the fact that he's never won in Montreal. The fact is, as long as Bo's been in the league, he's actually only started 2 games here for the Calgary Stampeders, but nonetheless, given the relative
it's a good
status, yeah, why ruin a good story, right?
Yeah.
I mean, given the relative success or lack thereof of these 2 teams over the course of Bo's career, it's still surprising that he hasn't won a game in Montreal.
Stamps have not won here since 2013. The handoff right out of the shooting. Don Jackson rumbles out on the first down. Calgary Stampeder team, Don Jackson's back the last couple of weeks, but a team that's really had some issues with injuries.
Yeah, and the hit hardest has been the receiving corps. Very happy to welcome Eric Rogers back to that group. Gives them another big play threat in that unit. Another guy coming back from injury, their center, Ucambre Williams, to help solidify that offensive line group here today.
Calgary team that rolled up more yardage than any other team, scores more points than any other team, and gives up less points than any other team. And Bo Levi Mitchell, sharp out of the gate, has Mark and Michel for another first down. Back-to-back plays, a running play, then a passing play. They move the sticks.
Well, you can't talk about the Owls' defensive line without talking about John Bowman. 124 career sacks, closing in on Stu Hill for number 7 all-time. Enoch Mwamba, you saw him in the opening. He's on track to post the second 100-tackle season of his career. Brandon Dozier at free safety leads the group with 4 interceptions in 2018.
Stamps, little misdirection counter play, and Don Jackson is tripped up by Dominic Ellis in the backfield. So it'll set up a throwing down here for Bo Levi Mitchell.
For the Calgary Stampeders. Talked about the injuries in that receiving corps. Again, some help with Eric Rogers coming back. A lot of talk this week, of course, with the signing of former CFL Rookie of the Year, Chris Matthews, as well, to add some depth.
Backpedaling. Mitchell hangs in, had lots of time, and now the first incomplete pass looking for Lamar Durant over the middle, and that will bring out Rob Maver for the first punt of this ball game on the first series by the Stamps.
We'll see this one-on-one matchup between Lamar Durant and Chip Cox. Tight man coverage. See, Cox gets hands-on early. Durant looked like he might have been looking for a call after a fair bit of contact on that play, but pretty good coverage by Chip Cox, getting physical within that first 5 yards.
Steph Logan last week against Saskatchewan brought back his first punt in 2 long years, a 74-yarder, nowhere to go this time around on a 50-yard kick. Johnny Manziel also has not won in Montreal. In fact, he hasn't won in the Canadian Football League. Coming off a 2-touchdown pass performance, but looking for a W, and maybe a shocker against the Stamps. The CFL on TSN is brought to you by the Nissan Titan, official vehicle of the Canadian Football League. Thanksgiving Monday in Canada. Johnny Manziel looking for his first win in Canada. Began the season, of course, with the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Barely played. Came to Montreal. 0-4 as a starter. Thought he might have been able to pull one out last week. Did not. Pitching it out right away to TJ Graham, who's back in the lineup for the Alouettes, filling in for B.J. Cunningham. They also have some injury problems in Montreal.
Yeah, as you mentioned, B.J. Cunningham, their leading receiver, out of the lineup this week. T.J. Graham gets another shot, adds some speed to that unit. Shuffling along the offensive line, as Jim Barker mentioned, now an all-Canadian unit. Luc Brodeur-Jourdain draws back into the starting lineup. That left side bumps out with Matt going to guard and Phil Blake going to left tackle.
Manziel last week just 9 of 16. Tossing it out, and already has Ernest Jackson for a first down. Manziel last week, 2 touchdown passes, his first 2 as a player in the Canadian Football League. Said yesterday he's starting to get his timing and getting his eyes and feet working together, shaking off some of that rust. Hand it off to William Stanback. A couple of yards on the play. It'll set up second down.
We'll take a look at this starting defense for the Calgary Stampeders. Happy to welcome Cordero Law back, help bolster the depth and that pass rush from his D-end position. Jamar Wall, longtime halfback in the league. He's been very good at the nickel linebacker spot this year. And the depth at halfback with Emmanuel Davis and Brandon Smith, both over 40 tackles, 3 interceptions apiece. Very strong tandem in the back end.
Second down again, Manziel on the roll. Looking, and he finds Jackson once more for another first down. As Johnny Manziel does what Johnny Manziel used to do a lot of in the National Football League and in the NCAA, and that's move the pocket.
Yeah, sees that stunt coming inside, buys a little bit of time. Rolling out, using his feet to extend that play.
On the roll. Looking, and he finds. Send 3 receivers to the top of the screen. Stanback stays in, takes the rock. A little stutter step. Second and third effort wasn't to be denied and got it up to the midfield stripe. William Stanback's been a good story for the Alouettes.
Yeah, and obviously tough to lose a guy like Terrell Sutton. But William Stanback has stepped up. This is a guy that impressed in training camp and steadily earned a bigger workload in the Montreal Alouettes offense. He's obviously taken over as the marquee guy in terms of their rushing attack. Matty Dunnigan talked about it. His success on the ground is going to be very important to Johnny Manziel's success throwing the football.
Another second down conversion. Manziel in trouble, escapes, goes forward, and has it picked off. Emmanuel Davis. And Johnny Manziel forcing one in, and he's talked about that before. That time as Davis goes up and plucks his 4th interception of the season. Stampeder ball when we come back. Emmanuel Davis had an interception last time these two teams met earlier in the season against Matthew Schultz. This time from Johnny Manziel.
Yeah, and this has been, in my opinion, the biggest knock on Johnny Manziel so far in his CFL career, and maybe the biggest thing he needs to change or learn is when to say when to cut your losses, whether it means tuck that ball and run and get what you can, or just throw it into the ground, throw it out of bounds, protect your field position, live to fight another down.
Juwan Freskeson turns it upfield close to a first down. Yeah, no one to say when, kind of like around the turkey for us today. Big turkey day. I hope you're enjoying it wherever you're watching. Good morning to the folks watching in Western Canada and in Calgary. It's Holiday Monday. Second down and 2. Bo Levi Mitchell. Give it off to Jackson, who looks like he has the first down. Calgary team that came in a little earlier this time, Dwayne Ford, into Montreal.
Yes, sir. arriving in town on Friday rather than the usual day before. Getting the opportunity to get settled, try to adjust a little bit, as much as you can in a short span of time, to the time change, as you mentioned, an early start. 1 o'clock start here, 11 o'clock Mountain Time for the Stampeders. Head coach Dave Dickinson looking to find a little more success than his team has known here in recent years.
Nick Arbuckle on 3rd and 1 will get the first down. Well, a coach knows the lack of success they have in opposing territory, particularly when a team has been so dominant as the Stamps have been. They've won everywhere. They've done so much during regular seasons over the last few years. Just have not been able to win in Montreal.
From a coaching perspective, you look at controlling elements that you can control. Preparation is one of those, and what you do leading up to the game, including arrival time, is part of that prep.
Jackson, great cut there. Whoa, what a stiff arm on Dominic Ellis. Don Jackson. Sacramento native who played in Nevada.
Well, Jackson, like his counterpart from Montreal, William Stanback, comes in averaging over 6 yards a pop. He's done a nice job in this game getting the ball to the outside. The Stampeders are doing a decent job getting things blocked up on the edges, putting those defensive ends from Montreal in a little bit of a bind.
Arbuckle again. Had to get to the 50-yard line on 2nd down and 1, so they'll have a reset. Alouettes thought that the ball got jostled loose. Looks like Stamps did recover. So the spot is going to be near the 51.5-yard line. Looks like Calgary staying in here, or are they? No, they're going to bring out their punt team. It's a long yard. It's almost 2 yards.
Yeah, and we've talked about this before with Calgary. I mean, they are a team that maybe a little more than most plays for field position. An opportunity here with Rob Maver to try and pin the Alouettes deep in their own territory. Hopefully in that exchange you create a short field for your offense in the next possession.
So adept kicking that ball inside the 10-yard line. Not this time. Down near the 15, but still a long field for the Alouettes. Zeros on the board so far on this Thanksgiving Monday, a tradition in the Canadian Football League for the last 61 years.
We talked about Johnny Manziel and the need to get a little bit better every week. And with that in mind, he turned in what most would argue has been his best game as a CFLer last week in a loss to the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Only 16 pass attempts, 9 completions, but did throw the first 2 touchdown passes of his Canadian Football League career, along with no interceptions. Let's not overlook the 45 rushing yards, as I think that's going to be a big part of his success as well.
Already in this game, though, has thrown 1 INT. 6 now on the season versus the 2 touchdown passes. That is a toss. That is to the outside. That's to Adarius Bowman.
You see the numbers last week as compared to his first 3 starts. And I mean, the thing that stands out, obviously, is the touchdowns versus interceptions. 4 of those 5 picks, now 6, as you mentioned, but 4 of those came in his first start. He's slowly but surely found his way, improving in various aspects every week. But taking care of the football, knowing when it's a good risk versus a bad risk is what he has to learn.
2nd and 2, and gobbled up at the 25-yard line. William Stanback stood up by Micah Johnson.
Well, Micah Johnson is such a force in the middle of that Stampeder defensive line. Quick swim inside the guard and into the backfield.
Boris Beattie will launch from near his 15-yard line. And again, this with the wind. See how that wind affects this ball game. Terry Williams wrapped up near the 38-yard line. Glenn Love, the former Stampeder, downfield quickly. Micah Johnson, big stop so far. Defense is rising up early. Still no scoring on Thanksgiving Monday in Montreal. Bo Levi Mitchell. Bo knows winning in the CFL, except here in Montreal. With more, let's go to the man patrolling the sidelines here at Molson Stadium and say happy Thanksgiving to John Luke.
Well, thank you, Rod. Same to you. And when we asked Bo Levi Mitchell yesterday about the reasons why Calgary has lost 4 straight years here at Molson Stadium, he confirmed what we suspected for a number of years, and that there were too many players on the Stamps roster in years past who were enjoying Montreal's nightlife a little too much. And Bo Levi said that those players are no longer with the team, but he added that there were also there was a sense of the Alouettes being underestimated by the Stampeders, and that the Stamps also allowed certain outside factors to influence their mindset, such as the visitors' locker room here at Molson Stadium, which Mitchell described as one of the least appealing in the league, in addition to small crowds that weren't conducive to a good atmosphere. But different year, different team, different attitude. They're hoping for a different result this year, guys.
All right, thank you, John. Bo back to pass. Lots of steamboats there. Great catch by Mark and Michel. Climbed the ladder. Well, same locker room. Again, a sparse crowd. But one thing Bo can do is throw, and goes high this time for number 80.
And Mark and Michel is a guy who has really become one that Bo Levi Mitchell's leaning on with the injuries in the receiving core. Top 2 receivers in terms of catches remain Kamar Jordan and Devaris Daniels, both of whom are out of the lineup at this point, but Michel is among those who's really picked up his game in their absence.
Jackson. Stopped there by Enoch Mwamba. He's had a great season in the middle. Well, M&M, Mark and Michel against the Argos last week.
Getting a chance to demonstrate some of his versatility. Obviously a guy who is known as a receiver, but added a rushing touchdown last week, as well as his work through the air.
You better be a Swiss Army knife. I shouldn't say you better be. Everybody who plays for the Calgary Stampeders can virtually do everything. They have to.
Yeah. Teams for certain types of players to fit into your system.
Loaded with depth. Dropping it into Eric Rogers, and the Stamps happy to have Rogers back. Went on the shelf, had some knee surgery mid-season, had 5 touchdowns in 5 games, and then was on the shelf for 10 weeks, the last 7 games.
His first touch in a while. He welcomed back by former Stampeder Tommy Campbell on the corner. Delivers the hit. This has always kind of been the Stampeder way. They have depth as much as possible, kind of promote and fill from within. Markway McDaniel moving on in the offseason. You had Eric Rogers, a guy who had been with the Stampeders and had been very productive, obviously with Calgary during his previous stint there, as a guy who came back to the organization to help fill that spot.
First down, Stamps marching. Under 2 to play, opening quarter. Firing again is Bo. Back to Mr. Rogers. Eric Rogers, the former NFLer and an all-star in 2015.
Second down, 6 yards to go.
An outstanding 2015 for the Calgary Stampeders. You see the career numbers.
Second down and 6. Here comes that blitz. Mitchell delivers once more. 3 in a row to Eric Rogers, getting him right back in the thick of it. They'll move the sticks once more.
Eric Rogers lining up in that familiar boundary slot position. Run the quick out with the halfback at depth. Low-hanging fruit for Bo Levi Mitchell.
Now down to the Montreal 35, just inside it. Stamps look to score here against the wind. Already our friendly Seagulls are back in this ball game. The Birds are back here. It'll be second down. And these Birds, they like to make their presence felt, usually after halftime, but it's early, and I think there's some turkey in the air here, particularly in our booth. And why not when a team is named the Alouettes? Could be the final play of this opening quarter. 2nd and 7. Mitchell stands in once more, connecting again. Might be a little bit short. See where the spot is. Reskison hauls that in.
A nice blitz pickup on that play by Don Jackson. Sliding across the formation, giving Mitchell time to throw that ball. But this is a strong catch. Watch Jackson, first of all, sliding left to right, standing up his man.
Reskison's helped out a lot. The 2nd round pick, native of Mississauga, played his college ball at Northern Illinois. And this depth at receiver has been tested so much. Guys keep just stepping up when other guys step out.
Yeah, and again, I mean, largely filling from within. It tells you a little bit when the Stamps go outside of their model. To get a guy like Chris Matthews, it speaks to the extent of the injuries they've sustained this year.
3rd down for Arbuckle. Keeps this drive going. On the final play of the opening quarter, Stamps will change sides with the Alouettes, and they'll have the wind in the 2nd quarter. They're threatening here, moving the football right out of the Thanksgiving Monday. The CFL on TSN from Montreal. We'll continue right after this. Not a whole lot of offense in the first quarter, mostly supplied by Calgary. Still no scoring, but the Stamps are on the move as we welcome you back to our annual tradition. This is not Seagull, by the way. This is turkey.
Oh, I mean, there are 2 sure things on Thanksgiving Day. Number 1, that there's going to be CFL football.
Yes.
Number 2, that the guys in the studio are going to get a better turkey than us.
You think they got a better? I don't know, man.
I think they did. I think they got a better turkey.
They were jealous the last few years because they didn't have one. Hey, you want to try some?
Not really, no.
You're not going to go for it?
This turkey is ice cold. That's the one that they had. You could tell when they carved it. Was clearly freshly cooked, moist, hot turkey. This is cold turkey.
It's cold turkey. And you're going to quick turkey, cold turkey today. I don't think you're going to eat turkey.
I'm not going to eat the turkey. Sometimes you got to take a stand, Rod.
Well, that's okay, because you know what? I think we are. So just go right ahead, because I'm going to mow on this baby.
Enjoy. Enjoy your cold turkey.
It's cold, but it's good. Even milk would eat that.
And milk could eat it as long as it's free.
Bo moves the pocket, looks end zone for Rogers. And has the ball, but it's out of bounds. And they finally were able to harass Bo Levi Mitchell in the pocket. Got him to roll outside. Set up a 2nd down now.
Mitchell had both Rogers and Mark and Michelle on that side of the field heading for the end zone. Real tight coverage in this situation, particularly with Rogers running out of room before that sideline. Nonetheless, perfectly placed ball from Mitchell. Rogers didn't come up with it.
Long drive, loads of time for Bo. And this is picked off. Over the top. And Chris Aki has his 2nd interception of the season. I'm
not sure from Mitchell's angle if he lost sight of the Alouette linebacker in behind the offensive line, trying to hit Lamar Durant underneath here. You can see Durant is the wide out to this wide side. He's coming underneath on his route, sitting down in the middle. You see Chris Aki never leaves that area.
Big play for the Owls. First turnover by the Stamps. Quick hitter to a Darius Bowman trying to cut outside, and he does. And so on this day of birds, Golden Hawk from Wilfrid Laurier. Chris Aki comes up big.
Chris Aki.
Major foul, unnecessary roughness. Calgary number 56. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
First penalty of the game called by Tom Velazzi. The least penalized team in the CFL, the Calgary Stampeders.
Turnover followed by penalty. The feeling that there was a little too much exuberance in the shove at the end of the play from Jameer Thurman. Going to add some extra yardage here.
Manziel will put it right in the gut of William Stanback. Played his college ball at Virginia Union, a Division II program after leaving Central Florida.
In addition to his work in the backfield for the Alouettes this season, Stanback has actually also been one of the Alouettes' top special teams players. Tough physical runner. Big body, and gives a lot of credit to Terrell Sutton, a guy he refers to as a mentor, teaching him some of the blitz pickups, schemes, etc.
Looked like the Owls might have been offside. The receivers got a head start, so we have flags down, and Manziel is sacked.
Penalty marker on the play.
Looked like the far side, the Alouettes had jumped a couple of yards.
Offside.
They'll
Montreal
decline
number
this.
9. That penalty is declined. Third down.
The first sack of the ball game goes to the Stamps. Garrett Davis getting that sack, his 5th of the season. So back and forth. The offensive drought continues. Eddie will boot against the wind, using all of the play clock, and this is a good one, spiraling to the far side for Williams. Snags it there and pushed out of bounds. So a couple of picks already in this ball game. Emmanuel Davis and Chris Aki stops the Stampeders' long drive. Still zeros on the board in Montreal. Great day to be on the couch before the turkey, the gravy, and the stuffing. After this, Shaw Road to the Grey Cup continues. Edmonton and Saskatchewan. Riders have won 6 of their last 7, including last week here in Montreal. Eskimos flatlining a bit right now. Lost 4 of their last 5. Bo Levi Mitchell gets the football back. No harm done on that pick, although he goes gunning now. Looking for Michel. Couldn't get up with the football. Great retreat back there. There was some separation. TJ Heath was able to break that up.
A nice recovery on the play by TJ Heath. Markin Michel had a step on him, but he's able to read that the ball is coming as he sees Michel making that adjustment as the ball's in the air and times his reach accordingly. So he sees the receiver's hands start to come out. He's going to reach to deflect that ball away.
Second down. Throwing down again. Bo steps up. Slinging for Lamar Durant. Takes a hit. But a big gain up near the 52-yard line. 24-yard pickup is Bo Levi Mitchell with some mustard on that one.
One of the things that has always impressed me most about Bo Levi Mitchell is his composure in the pocket. There is never any panic, even as that pocket's starting to collapse on him a little bit. Eyes always downfield, feet set, strong throw. Connect that time with Durant.
Now the pocket closes, gets flushed out, and oh, what a collision there. But an incomplete pass, looking for Markeith Ambles in the lineup. Again, with that depleted receiving core. Ambles from University of Houston, the former Cougar. He's already had 3 catches, but none so far today.
And other new faces you mentioned in that receiving core. A guy who spent a little bit of time with the Toronto Argonauts in 2016. Well-traveled receiver, guy who started his college career at USC. He's considered one of the top recruits in the class of 2010. He's bounced around a little bit since then.
He was considered a blue chip, and now Mitchell, gun sideline, and separated from the football is Eric Rogers. Ball hawks there. The Montreal Alouettes, and once again, a drive will stall for the Calgary Stampeders.
You see Rogers once again working from that boundary slot position, outside release. He's going to make that out cut.
Well, they got hit twice, once in the grill and then in the helmet. Rogers was complaining on the sideline. Faber. Big boot inside the 10-yard line. Steph Logan. Jitterbug up near the 20-yard line. There is a flag down. We'll catch up with that when we come back. All defense so far. Won't Levi Mitchell moving the football. Just not into scoring position so far today. Alouette fans here at Percival Molson Stadium at McGill University. The youngsters in the crowd, toques on. Temperature starting to drop. It's supposed to get warm here tomorrow. Calgary fans probably not sympathizing at all with snow on the ground in Alberta. Johnny Manziel, big toss here, jump ball. Oh, what a catch! What a play to get out of a hole. Eugene Lewis comes down with it. Johnny Manziel's biggest completion as an Alouette after a hold on the return. They were pinned inside their 5-yard line.
Combine the field position with the fact that it's one of their first plays against the wind in this football game. Not necessarily what you would expect, but Manziel sees that one-on-one coverage on the outside. Decides he's comfortable taking a shot to Eugene Lewis, and Lewis says thank you by making a big play for his quarterback.
52-yarder on the bomb. Manziel, delayed draw for Stanback. Opens up a hole. Alex Singleton missed the first tackle. Little delay in the backfield was able to afford Stanback some running room.
And I think the draw is a well-timed play here, coming off the deep throw. It's kind of got the Stamps back on their heels a little bit. Maybe expecting Montreal to continue to be as aggressive offensively. Worked out well in terms of creating a little bit of space for Stanback.
Alouettes now scrimmage on Calgary's side. Furthest they've been able to advance the football so far today. Loading up the box. Manziel looks one way now, is to go through his receivers, and the only option is to throw it into the front row.
And I'll take that decision from Johnny Manziel. Again, part of the growth. Recognize the field position. You're in the opponent's territory. Whether you're going to attempt a field goal or whether you're looking to punt and try and pin them, you know, don't go scrambling backwards and give up yardage. Don't try and force something. You know, you're not going to win on every play. Sometimes take the draw.
That sets up 3rd and 3. Or Speedy's going to try to angle one away from Terry Williams here and hem in the Stampeders. And they'll use all of that play clock. Here's a kick, a driving kick actually down the middle of the field. Williams, nice cut there, and still on his feet. So far, not much traction offensively for either side. Bo Levi Mitchell trying to get the first points of this ball game into the second quarter.
We talked about the Stampeders' depleted receiving corps, series of injuries to some important players. Kamar Jordan is down with a knee injury. Tavares Daniels into the shoulder, and then Reggie Begelton working on special teams. Saw the arm chicken wing there. All three of those guys down. Eric Rogers was already down, fortunately, number 15. Back this week.
Chip Cox, who's up the tackle list in the CFL, but after a big first down from Don Jackson. Those are a lot of yards, those are a lot of catches.
Yeah, some serious weapons to be missing from any team's arsenal. Jordan and Daniels 1 and 2 on the Stampeders in receiving thus far this season. You see those three guys combining for 14 touchdowns in 2018 as well.
Stamps gone out and signed Chris Matthews. Oh, high snap. Bo has to eat it. It'll be second and long, and rare blemish from the Calgary Stampeders offense. Calgary Williams back at center, and this ball nowhere near Bo Mitchell.
Yeah, not always easy when you have the responsibility of snapping the ball and getting to your blocking assignment as quickly as possible. That perhaps contributing to the errant snap from Williams.
Second down and 22 from the Calgary 22. Sidearm. It looked like it hopped. This battle of field position will continue. Rob Maver comes out with the gust behind him. 6:24 and a team that scores a lot of points. Calgary Stampeders still with a big goose egg on the board, and the Alouettes, who don't score a lot of points, have to be happy with the fact that they haven't given up any so far.
Well, first down defense has been important for the Alouettes. That series was the first time in 4 possessions that Calgary had actually gained any yards on first down.
Jameer Thurman downfield with his 16th special teams tackle of the season.
Make your getaway with intelligent all-wheel drive in the 2018 Nissan Qashqai.
Just over 6 minutes to go. Another series here for Johnny Manziel, who has thrown an interception, has given up a sack. A team that has given up more sacks than any other. It's been very hard to protect their quarterback. They have an all-Canadian front here today. Manziel is 6 of 8 for 92 yards. Good starting point. Looked one way and still goes over there. Again to TJ Graham. Gets up close to the midfield stripe, the 54-yard line. It'll be second and manageable.
You look at this Alouettes offensive line, as mentioned, all-Canadian group. Christian Mattis started most of the year at center. He's bumped out to left guard, where he has played before. Luc Brodeur-Jourdain, veteran, back in at center, and Philip Blake, who has been at guard, moves out to left tackle. Tony Washington, the most recent member of that O-line to go down. Washington, of course, had been a fixture at left tackle since coming over with Manziel from Hamilton.
4-man rush. Johnny Manziel. By Darius Bowman. Now the furthest penetration by the Alouettes. Let's see if they can continue this drive as they move into scoring position with 5 to go before halftime.
A nice timing route here, and you're going to see the linebacker, Jameer Thurman, kind of sits even as Darius Bowman crosses behind him. He sees him, peripherally knows Manziel's looking there, but doesn't get quite enough width as Bowman continues towards that sideline, allowing Manziel to complete the pass.
Again, the delayed draw, and it works once more. The Mack truck in cleats Williams stand back.
Williams stand back, the ball carrier.
And as long as Standback can be productive and force the Calgary front to have to play the run first. You want that front seven to have to play the run, to honor the run. Get good production on first down, stay out of second and long situations. For Kahari Jones, offensive coordinator, it allows him to put a relatively inexperienced CFL quarterback in Johnny Manziel in the best possible position to succeed.
They'll give it to Standback once more. Looks like he's going to get the first down and a little more. And that first down production, you're so right, Forty. This is a Calgary team that has the best first down defense in the CFL. Back-to-back first downs, giving them manageable second down conversions.
And second and long every time. There's advantage defense. Montreal needs to avoid that, and it's a given in the world of football that you want to avoid that. But in order to be successful against Calgary, it's absolutely critical.
Little issue on the near sideline with the yardsticks, the chain. And always with that hat askew. You know Devon Claybrooks is around, former CFL player, now the DC for the Calgary Stampeders.
A guy who played most of his career right here in Montreal. Defensive tackle.
First and 10. Again, that four-man rush. Manziel standing now. He has to take off, and he turns around and finds George Johnson. For a first down, flag down. This might be a hold. We'll see. They may take this right off the board.
Holding. Montreal number 68. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Well, with the heat on, Philip Blake put the mitts on.
Yeah, Philip Blake again at left tackle. It's beaten inside here. James Vaughters gets around the edge on him. Grab to avoid the sack.
First and 20 from the 39. Getting close to the 3-minute warning before halftime. Manziel wants to call his own number. Slides down. He picks up a couple of yards. Like Johnny saw a bit of an opening. But it closed quickly.
Take what you can get, avoids the sack, turns it into a positive play.
So it is the 3-minute warning. Still no points on this Thanksgiving Monday in Montreal. The Owls and the Stamps on TSN.
Three minutes to halftime, and there's not much left of that birdie. Hey, maybe it's the tryptophan, maybe it's the lack of scoring, but we're a little sleepy back here in the studio. Speaking of which, we're going to talk about what it is about Montreal that makes Calgary a little sluggish. Got any more bird, Rod Dwayne?
Well, lots of bird left. Dwayne is on a diet for some reason today. We're not sure why. Cold turkey, he said. 2nd and 17, and that's incomplete. So we may finally see some points on the board here. They'll bring out the kick team. That's the best that the Alouettes will do. And Thanksgiving is for giving. Not exchanging points, apparently, today.
Yeah, these defenses did not get the memo about Thanksgiving. But first opportunity here to break the goose egg for Boris Beatty.
25 of 29 on the season, 86%. Well within his range, but again, keep in mind the wind is blowing right into his grill. $44-yarder for Beatty. Kick is up, and it will go through. And we give thanks to some points.
Found a lower price on tires? We'll match it, guaranteed.
Almost hard to believe. You see a 3-0 score, you might think a snow game or an inclement weather game, especially with the ability of the Stampeders to pile up points, but so far this is all we've got. It's all we got, 40.
Defense, defense, defense.
The salute. Peering it down is poor Speedy. He doesn't do the home run swing anymore. Levi Mitchell. 2-minute offense. Oh, that could have gone the other way for 6. Good play there by Tommy Campbell, the former Stamp on the corner.
Yeah, you know, he would have loved to have had that one against his former team. He shows here that he's sitting off a little bit, given some space. Sees Mitchell's head turn that way. Jumps underneath that hook.
3 of 10 on second down. And that ball is caught. Are they saying it's caught? No, it will be third down as Amels couldn't hang on. It's incomplete. And Bo Levi Mitchell, a drought here, 1 for his last 9 attempts.
Uncharacteristic. But again,
not many
maybe
familiar
not for
faces.
the Stamps in Montreal.
Yeah, and you're right, here in this city, it's been Bo Levi Mitchell's kryptonite. Maver. Steph Logan near his 30. It's a block, a good one there to spring him for a few more yards. There's a penalty flag down. Might be a hold on that block. 2:23 to go. Can Johnny Manziel put his team in position to score some more points? Again, Manziel looking for his first CFL victory today. Former Heisman winner, Texas A&M Aggie. And this might go against the Owls.
Holding, Montreal 11. Major foul, face mask, Montreal 34. We'll apply both those penalties. First down.
Well, that takes them a long way back after a good starting point. If the Stamps can hold here, they might get the ball in great field position.
Keep an eye on the right side of your screen there from Glenn Love. Mente Milanovic-Litre. Once again, Alouettes backed up in their own territory. Of course, last time they were here, they came up with the biggest play of the game thus far. Manziel going deep. Eugene Lewis.
Average starting position hasn't been good for the Owls, 19 yards, but they do lead. Now Johnny ducks and then runs and had his man, but overthrows Ernest Jackson. Sets up a key second down here with 2:17 to go before halftime.
And this one a little more calculated gamble by Manziel. I would label this one as a good risk as opposed to the interception that he threw earlier. Throws off the target, but legitimate chance to get it to the receiver as opposed to trying to squeeze it into far too tight a window with an off-balance throw.
Manziel changes the play here. He's 4 of 9 on second downs. Now he tosses to the far side, and that one is errant. He's looking for Lewis, and so Boris Beatty against the breeze. And as mentioned, the Stampeders are going to get a nice starting spot here in the final 2 minutes.
A great time to get a short field with the clock ticking down just over 2 minutes.
He will boot from his goal line. There's a good kick into the wind. Williams near his 50. And brought down just on the Stampeder side of the field. So the 2-minute offense for Bo Levi Mitchell. Not been a stellar first half by any stretch.
Teams with an interception apiece thus far. No points coming off of those turnovers. This is the Alouettes defensive coordinator, Rich Stubler.
Got the shorts on today, rocking.
Yep, showing off the legs.
There it is. You might be the only one over there in shorts. Coach Stubler. Bo. Over the top, tried the slant.
Yeah, throw that was hurried with Chip Cox, nickel linebacker. He's the unblocked man on the blitz.
One for his last 10 is Bo Levi Mitchell, and struggling here in Montreal. 6 straight incompletions, and so the Alouettes, if they can hold, indeed, may get it back too. They've been good on second down so far. Defensive showcase. Thanksgiving 2018. Mitchell back to pass once more. Now moves it. Is in trouble. Oh, what a move by Bo Levi Mitchell. Penalty flag down. Lamar Durant tries to one-hand it. This could be a hold in the backfield, and it looks like the Owls are going to get it back, and Manziel can operate in the final 2 minutes. Great spin move by Bo Levi Mitchell, but it looked like there might have been a hold in the backfield.
Holding, Calgary number 60. Illegal contact, Montreal number 23. Those penalties will offset and we'll redo the play.
Well, Montreal does a nice job. You watch Dominique Ellis, he's going to motion down late. He's coming on the halfback blitz. Almost got in trouble because he didn't maintain that contained position here, which allowed Bo Levi Mitchell to get to the outside and make a throw. Nonetheless, adding pressure, adding a hurry. The Stampeder quarterback, great escape there by Mitchell.
So it is 2nd and 10. Sending out 5 receivers. Bull, nice catch, but only half the first down yardage. They won't get to that first down marker. It is Breskison once more, 2nd straight, 2 and out. The Stamps. A minute 41 to go, and Steph Logan will retreat. Rob Maver will try to angle this, and again, he's got the benefit of the wind. So proficient. And kicks to the coffin corner. That could have been blocked. Just got it away inside the 10-yard line again. Logan bursts up in the near sideline near the 18, and this was almost blocked.
Yeah, late in the half, the Alouettes figure that with this field position, they'll take a shot at the block. Maybe give themselves a short field. But Rob Maver gets it away just in the nick of time.
Ty Cranston did well not to contact the kicker as well, the former Ottawa Gigi. Minute 19. Manziel, wide toss. And Ernest Jackson gets some positive yardage. Risky throw to that far side by Johnny Manziel.
Yeah, a long way, hash mark to sideline. Out to that wide side.
As the game is slowing down for him. Moving so fast, and all the nuances of the Canadian game, the timing, the tempo, the waggles, the 2 downs. Stamps still could get the ball back again. Maybe not. Ernest Jackson looks like he's going to move the sticks. Smart slant play called by Kahari Jones. Also get right to the line of scrimmage. Manziel over the middle, and Jackson shovels it and comes up with it. Ernest Jackson, circus catch for 16.
Well, this is kind of the Ernest Jackson the Montreal Alouettes were looking for when they signed this guy as a free agent prior to last season, coming off a year in which he had been the most outstanding player in the East Division with the Ottawa Redblacks.
Manziel again. Throw this away. Now he's got 18 seconds to work with to get it into field goal position. Here's a how you do.
A great concentration there. Ernest Jackson.
18 seconds to get it to the Montreal 52 for a first down. They have time for 2 plays, and if they can get it into field goal position, might bring Beatty out for a 6-0 lead. We'll see. Stamps rush 3. Manziel steps up and to sideline again. And it's caught. Another great catch. TJ Graham lays out.
He was like completely horizontal when he caught this ball. Only part of him that's in bounds.
What a grab.
Feet and lower legs. Now, did he get this one before he touches the sideline?
Back feet might have
Yeah, the feet are in, but his
his
hip touch down on the white stripe before he secured it.
There's an injured player on the field. This ball is immediately in field goal position. Now, how about catching a ball while you're lying down?
TJ Graham's going to run kind of a comeback along the sidelines.
Former Buffalo Bill. 47 games in the NFL over 4 seasons. And really had a tough time being able to stay in the Montreal lineup.
Has been with this team on and off over the last couple of seasons.
So 11 seconds, chance to get it closer. And Stampeders brings it close inside the 24-yard line. Will they have time for one more? Johnny Manziel looking to the sideline saying, hey, how about one more shot? They got 9 seconds. They got to be careful here because they could blow those 9 seconds and Beatty might not be able to get out in the field.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'd be taking any chances here. But I'll tell you that, give Johnny Manziel credit. Let's go back 2 plays to where Manziel scrambled with Ja'Garrett Davis chasing him and he threw the ball out of bounds. That throwaway, as opposed to trying to force a play or anything like that, it kept this drive alive, gave him a chance to live to fight another down, which has allowed him to move his team into field goal position. And it's, you know, a demonstration of learning within the course of the game. Very different than what he did under pressure early on when he threw that interception. And here, it's going to result in at least a chance to get points for his team because of that good decision.
They will bring Beatty out. Final play of the first half.
You know, and it's not to act as if Johnny Manziel is the first guy ever to learn that lesson.
No.
But the fact is, it's a lesson that he has demonstrated through a series of games. It's something he needed to get better at. And within this game, I would contend he's learned to make that better decision.
So now Beatty's going to see his field goal attempt go
Montreal.
back.
10-yard penalty.
10 yards.
First down.
Even after a timeout, that's almost inexcusable.
Yeah, there's no way that should happen.
So it will move it back another 10 and make this kick a little more difficult. First half owned by the defenses, and the Alouettes have to consider this a major victory. Not putting up any touchdowns, but more importantly, not giving the Calgary Stampeders any points at halftime. Beatty puts it up, and he will put it through. Manziel and the Alouettes lead the Stampeders by 6. Chirping going on the field. But no touchdowns so far.
Great decision by Johnny Manziel and a couple of great catches from his receivers. Ernest Jackson and TJ Graham helped set up Boris Beattie for his second field goal of the game. He's the only guy on the board.
Tough to play in Montreal, say the Stamps. 6-zip at the half as we send it back to Rod and the boys in the studio.
Thank you, Rod. So the tradition continues. I'm not talking about Thanksgiving. I'm talking about how Calgary plays whenever they go to Montreal. They struggle, Milt? I guess we should give the Alouettes some credit here.
Yeah, you got to give them some credit. And let's be honest, let's not sugarcoat it. This is the best team against the worst team, supposedly, and the best offense against the worst defense. But the thing about this defense, they've actually had some games where they've played well, and those games have been when they hadn't been on the field the entire time. Their offense was actually giving them some rest. They have some talent on this defense. Chip Cox can still go. I like their two cornerbacks, Campbell and Campbell. I mean, a lot was invested in bringing these guys over here so they can make some plays. And you see what's happening in this first half. They've been able to make some plays defensively. You see the great interception by Aki right there. They've been covering up these receivers. They haven't allowed that running game to get going. Bo Levi Mitchell hasn't been under too much pressure, but these receivers aren't getting open. And you can say all you want to, well, he doesn't have his main receivers. He didn't have his main receivers the last 2 or 3 games, and Bo Levi Mitchell has been able to put up some points. So it's going to be interesting to see how they come out in the second half. If Johnny Manziel and this offense can continue staying on the field and possibly put up some points, this defense may have a chance of leading this team to victory.
And being smart. Being smart with football. You heard Dwayne talk about it. Good decisions by Johnny Manziel basically there in the first half. One time under duress, he threw a ball that shouldn't have been thrown. But for the most part, they've established the line of scrimmage with Big Willie Standback, and they've been able to protect Johnny Manziel because of it. And he's throwing in balance. And I'll show you several things. I like this. Move the pocket. You know, it's play to his strengths, and certainly this is one of his strengths when he's mobile and on the run. And then here, watch this. This is the deep ball. This travels 53 yards in the air against the wind as turkeys are gobbling up. And I'm telling you that when you're in balance like that, you can put the ball where you want to, no matter whether you're in to win or not. And then here, again, under balance, touch pass. I like it, what I'm seeing here. You're seeing more and more of this consistently. Steps up in the pocket, throws a dart, giving his receiver an opportunity to make a great catch on the sidelines. This, to me, are all steps moving forward. In a 6-0 lead, this is the way that Montreal has to play it right now, because until Johnny gets a few more pieces around him, I think that this offense is going to struggle. But I've seen tremendous output by him and the running game, the big boys up front protecting him early in this first half.
Well, for one half, Johnny Manziel was the best quarterback on the field. There was no doubt he moved his club the best.
That's saying a lot, too.
Absolutely. They protected him well. They ran the ball decently. They kept. What was surprising was Calgary's defense. They did nothing to try to stop. You just saw no pressures. You just saw nothing. Calgary is playing like they had too much turkey.
Too much turkey, I think so.
Jim, how many teams have you been involved with that play down to the level of their talent? And
that's true.
And it's so frustrating. Right?
I mean, as a coach, you say, hey, these guys are going to come out to play. You got to be ready. You got to be ready.
It's
but
difficult
in the back,
when you've been killing it.
We're going to Montreal, baby. This is our week.
It's difficult. It's very difficult. Yeah.
You know who's enjoying this Thanksgiving is another team? How about the Saskatchewan Roughriders?
Well, everybody out there.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of people Winnipeg, they're all excited about the way
We're going
this
to
is
talk
playing
about
out.
that game, part 2, coming up.
Happy Thanksgiving, Canada. That poultry meets pigskin here at Molson Stadium in Montreal. Manziel in trouble, escapes, goes forward, and has it picked off. Johnny Manziel, big toss here, jump ball. Oh, what a catch. Johnny Manziel's biggest completion as an Alouette.
Thanksgiving special, part 2, a live mic game at Mosaic in Regina. The Edmonton Eskimos struggling, down to 7-7. BC tied them now for 4th in the West. Saskatchewan Roughriders rolling a solid second, and as mentioned, probably liking, along with those other teams, what's been going on so far in Montreal with Calgary trailing by 6. How about the Saskatchewan Roughriders? Since their last game against Edmonton, Matty, their record is 6-1.
Yeah, absolutely. They're dominant over the last 7 games, and since then, Edmonton's 2-5. And it is one of those situations where I think their quarterback and having patience for Zach Collaros is paying off for him. And Zach gets more and more comfortable as the weeks go on. And I think it has to do with the kid by the name of Trey Mason. I think again, getting back to how important it is for the big boys to have the run in their game, be able to run block. Trey Mason's been stepping up his game over the last several weeks. Zach Collaros has got more time and he's able to push the football ball down the field. And I believe that goes hand in hand. But the patience they've showed with their quarterback has paid off for them.
I've said so often this time of year, defense is important, and I believe Saskatchewan's all put that secondary up against anyone. They get Luche Purifoy back today.
Right.
They got Matt Elam on the corner, Gainey and Nick Marshall on the boundary. I mean, that is a tough secondary.
Yeah, it is. It's tough to figure out, too.
That is going to be a great matchup today because Duke is going to play.
Duke is going to play,
and if this game goes the way it's going and Montreal wins, oh my goodness, this is going to be
crazy.
There's nothing better.
Well, you talk about the Rough Riders over that 6-1, you know, that streak they've had. The big reason has been the defense. But that last game, we saw Zach come up big. He threw for over 300 yards. He hadn't done that since July of last year. Imagine how great that team could be if he continues playing like that. I mean, they could go on and do some great things. We know about Chris Jones and that defense. We know about their special teams play, regardless of returning punts and kickoff. If Zach can continue playing like that, they could possibly be the best team in the league.
And that game was in Montreal last week, and he broke out, as you said, passed over 300 yards. Bo Levi Mitchell in that offense have some work to do. They're trailing 6-0. Second half kickoff coming up. The stunning stat is the score. 6-0 Alouettes at the half. Here's Maddie with more numbers.
Sure this isn't Halloween, Rod? There's trick or treat. I'm being tricked here. I would have been tricked coming out of the gate predicting this one. Alouettes all over. Johnny Manziel having time. They've established the line of scrimmage. And, boy, this is a dominant performance by the Alouettes defense right now.
Only 129 yards net for Calgary. And offensively, Ernest Jackson, 46 yards receiving. Here he is now with John Liu.
Well, Ernest, we talked a lot about Johnny Manziel getting more comfortable within the system, but when you look at the other end, some of the plays that you, TJ Graham, and Eugene Lewis made, are we seeing growing chemistry between Manziel and you as his receivers?
Oh, yeah, you definitely see that chemistry coming through with him and the receivers. With him being in the starting lineup a couple weeks now, him able to know how his receivers run routes and what we expect from him, so the timing is coming up a lot better.
How much of a point of emphasis was there for you to maintain good field position against a Calgary offense that can light it up at pretty much any given time?
Oh, it was a big emphasis, knowing that it's a powerhouse team. They make big plays at all times, so having that field position plays a big factor for us.
Thanks for this, Ernest.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Too much turkey? Too much Alouettes defense? Something's slowing Bo and the Calgary offense down. They're trailing 6-0 at the half. Geez, it still looks good, and we're full. Be back with more.
Speak for yourself, Rod.
Back in Montreal, where the Alouettes are giving thanks to their defense so far here today. 6-0. They lead the Western Division leading Calgary Stampeders. Here's Eric Rogers back with the Stamps with John Liu.
Well, Eric, late in the first quarter, you made 3 straight catches in one drive. You've been targeted multiple times after that. Has this been the type of game that's been helpful getting you back into the flow after a 10-week layoff?
Yeah, I mean, we're trying to get out here and get in the rhythm. We're a little up and down that first half. We had a fumble and inside scoring range and an interception. So we had that opportunities there, but we had a couple of drops, and we got to make those contested catches. We haven't made those yet, but hopefully the second half we'll do a little better.
When you take a look at your second down conversions, at 3 for 12 as an offense, second down conversions, how much of that is a lack of execution? How much of that is what the Montreal defense is doing?
Montreal's playing well on defense, but we got to run a couple different plays against they're playing 2-man on second and long, so we got to get some different play calls in there and see if we can make some hay with some catches.
Thanks for this, Eric.
Second half underway. Steph Logan picks his way up near the 35-yard line. The Alouettes choosing to take the wind here in the third quarter, owning a 6-0 lead.
Well, the Alouettes scored their points against the wind. They're maybe not too concerned about that aspect of the game, maybe just looking to get a little bit of momentum. You see the numbers for Johnny Manziel already with both more attempts and more completions than he had last week against Saskatchewan, leading 67% of his passes thus far.
Outplaying his rival Bo Levi Mitchell right now. Bo is not one in Montreal. Little slant sidearm toss to a Darius Bowman. First down out of the gate here in the second half.
Take a look back at Johnny Manziel's first half body of work. Spreading the ball around. Completed that one deep ball in particular to Eugene Lewis. Nice job using his legs to extend plays. One interception aside, made some good decisions and got a little bit of help from his receivers with a couple of tough catches.
Tough run, Williams stand back. The running back who plows like a fullback at times.
Hitter Philippe Gagnon got things sealed up. Looked like a little bit of confusion in the backfield if you saw Manziel turn right then left before handing that ball to his running back. End result worked out pretty well, however, for the Montreal Alouettes.
Injured Stampeder being attended to. Back-to-back first downs, though, for Manziel and the Alouettes. Nothing more than to add some more points here and keep Bo Levi Mitchell and the Stamps off the field. A team that has resembled a MASH unit, the Calgary Stampeders, this season. Still dominant, though, 11-2. But injury, piling up on injury. And now one more to the sideline. Brandon Smith, injured Stamp, limps off to the sideline.
Bro, come down me up. Yeah, come on,
An obvious hit on the back end to lose veteran guy.
Pulling it back, Manziel's in trouble, loses the football, and Calgary is going to pick it up, or will they? Yes, they will. Junior Turner, after Manziel was sandwiched, sacked, fumbled. Calgary gets the football right away, just when the Alouettes were marching. They cough it up, and the Stamps have a takeaway.
Well, Johnny Manziel turns over the ball here. Pressure coming from both sides. The defensive ends. Jagarrett Davis from the left. Cordero Law from the right. He sees Davis coming in his face. Doesn't see Law coming from the backside. Combination of the two. Able to pop that ball free. I believe Junior Turner was the guy who eventually fell on it after a bunch of Stamps attempted the scoop and score.
See it, Bo Levi Mitchell takes a deep shot here. And he is brought down. Alouettes respond, a counter punch with a sack.
Yeah, keep an eye on big Ryan Brown right on that orange paint. In the middle of the field. Defensive tackle has been a nice find for the Alouettes this season.
Bo Levi Mitchell now second down. Has not been shut out in a CFL game since 2015 here in Montreal. It's down 16-0 at the half, and now he goes over the top. It is picked off. Brandon Dozier with his 5th INT of the season.
Well, the defense bails out the O in a big way. The sack followed by the interception.
Little line dance for the Alouettes. And the Montreal nightmare continues for Bo Levi Mitchell.
And we've got Brandon Dozier, the safety, playing center field on this one. You see, Helping over the top on that outside route to Markin Michel. And again, almost like the first pick, it almost seems like Mitchell was unaware of the defender there. He was maybe focused on that outside matchup and saw that Michel had a step. Didn't realize there was going to be help waiting over top.
So a pair of turnovers apiece.
William Stanback, the ball carrier.
And Alouettes, who again are defying their statistical numbers so far in this ball game. Last in so many categories. But a huge takeaway here, snuffing that out from Bo Levi Mitchell.
And a ball that I suspect if he had that one to throw over again, would be looking to put more air on it. Certainly, and take a shot to at least have a chance for Michel to go for the contested catch, but that one coming up a little short.
Johnny Manziel got drilled by Alex Singleton. Little linebacker flying through and bowls his way to Manziel, who had no shot.
Yeah, Singleton's going to start from depth. Watch him hit that A gap unblocked.
Last year's outstanding defensive player in the CFL.
Still looking for his first sack in 2018, but the pressure stands just as well on that last play.
Beatty. Williams inside his 10. Looking for a block, got a good one there. Makes one miss and a couple. Pretty good starting point. Hard hitting, pad popping, day of giving thanks. And also have given a shot. 6-0 Alouettes in Montreal. The most popular sci-fi series of all time is back with a new doctor, and she's ready for an epic season of adventure. Doctor Who, all new Sundays at 8 Eastern, only on Space. Getting it down here today. I'm just telling you, a lot of these dances that you and I like to do, like to perform, they're all from Fortnite. You know that, right?
I knew that.
Oh, look out now as Don Jackson peels off a big gainer. Might have been sprung. 16-yard pickup.
A good way for the Stamps to get things settled down. Go back to Don Jackson. In that ground game, nice run support. And the halfback Dominic Ellis coming up to make a play.
Save a touchdown. Jackson to the sideline. Still no points for the Calgary Stampeders. That is an oddity. Good Montreal D so far. Another big cut once more. This time Terry Williams in for Jackson. Back to back. 15-yarders for the Stampeders.
The Stampeders did a nice job washing things down on the edge. Watch the fullback William Longley as well. Markeith Ambles comes in on that side to help wash things down. Chip Cox pinned inside by Ambles. Alan Williams to take it around the end.
Jackson returns in the eye. Go back to him again. Calgary team that hasn't run this much since the days of John Cornish and Jerome Messam.
You alluded to this earlier, Rod. Last time Bo Levi Mitchell was shut out in the first half of a football game right here in Montreal. Over 3 years ago, July 3rd, 2015.
Only twice has Bo Levi Mitchell been shut out at a half, and he's going down. Gabriel Napton, the monstrous sack. Shutout continues in Montreal.
Gabe Napton up top on your screen from his defensive end spot. Just caught the guard, Brad Erdos, little flat-footed. not recognizing that his quarterback was drifting to his right. He set too far to the inside.
Maver spirals one down to the 15. Steph Logan cuts one way. A little zig, a little zag after a 50-yard kick. The Ultimate Warrior, Gabe Napton. Big sack for the Alouettes. What a 6-point lead.
Join us on October 13th for our Pink Power Game in support of the Canadian Cancer Society, presented by Mayfair Diagnostics. Get your tickets today at Stampeders.com.
Back at Percival Molson Stadium. Cool Monday afternoon, mid-October, Thanksgiving Monday. Violent game of chess continues. Manziel has time. Look out now. Here comes Micah Johnson, bringing him down. Johnny Manziel heard the footsteps, but gets sacked once more.
I don't think Micah Johnson's sneaking up on anybody. Keep an eye out the far right side of your screen. Number 4 working against left tackle Philip Blake. Little pull and swim to get inside. Tracks down the quarterback. His 9th sack of 2018 to lead the Stampeders.
56 sacks now allowed by the Alouettes. By far the most in the CFL. The dubious record right now. Far side, Manziel finds George Johnson, the former basketball player turned football player, Western Mustang. Not enough for a first down. Past the midway point of the third quarter. Has turned into a defensive game of cat and mouse here. Bo Levi Mitchell still pitching a shutout. No points. Such a rarity. Only twice has that happened. Both times here in Montreal. Look out, opening here. Terry Williams. Terry Williams is going to score. Goodbye. Touchdown, but it could come back. It looks like it will come back. Williams scampers for his 4th return to the end zone.
During the return, illegal block.
All for naught.
Calgary number 0. 10-yard penalty, first down.
After all of that, and that's why that C opened up. 80 yards and 6 points taken off the board.
Seontae Evans is matched up on Glenn Love. Love, of course, a tremendous special teams player. You can see he's in trail position. He's not going to have a chance to catch up and flank him. And so as Williams starts to go, you know, Evans tries to show that he's laying off. He didn't fully extend the arms, but there was just enough of a nudge in the back. Did the officials see that as Love gets pushed past the returner, making it a little easier for Mr. Williams to get up the field.
Takes the first points of the game off the board for the Stamps. Williams has had a sensational year. 3 returns for the major. He's to be considered a candidate for most outstanding special teams player for sure. So another long field for Bo Levi Mitchell. Swing it out of the backfield for Jackson. It's a block from Reskison and then is dusted out of bounds. This Montreal defense has brought its A game today, Dwayne.
Well, they certainly have answered the bell, stepping up to the challenge presented. As you know, Calgary has been terrific defensively all year. Bringing the Stampeders to 146 yards thus far in the ballgame.
Showing blitz. Here it comes. There goes the football. Lamar Durant with a spin for a first down. leaves the Alouettes in his dust. Big play from Bo Levi Mitchell and his Canadian receiver, Lamar Durant.
You look at how many things have to go right. First of all, Don Jackson, great job on the blitz pickup on Chip Cox. Mitchell with a strong throw out to the wide side. Great job making the first man miss by Lamar Durant to pick up first down yardage.
Former star at SFU, Simon Fraser.
A guy who posted ridiculous numbers in college.
Penalty flag. There was movement and a time count violation.
5-yard penalty remains first down.
Dave Dickinson checking that ready list, looking for something to give his Stampeders a little offensive traction in this ballgame.
Very little momentum. They had momentum early in the game and like they were on their way to scoring, but then turned the ball over a couple of times in the score zone, near the score zone. Well, Levi Mitchell's in trouble again. Lucky to hang on to the ball as John Bowman, Aki and others were all in on Bo Levi Mitchell.
This looked almost as if the offense wasn't really ready.
Yeah, it looked like supposed to be a handoff.
Yeah, I mean, Jackson looked like he was caught deeper in the backfield than he wanted to be.
The sack to Chris Aki.
Yeah, whether the offensive line was supposed to pick up Aki, I'm not sure, because as he said, it looked like Mitchell wanted to hand it to Jackson, and Jackson just reacted as he saw the linebacker burst through to try and protect his quarterback.
Bo's in trouble again now, downfield, up for grabs, and it's picked off by Dominic Ellis. Bo Levi Mitchell throws another interception. And a penalty flag laid for objectionable conduct on the celebration. Easy pickings for Dominic Ellis. The Owls get it back.
I need your best, Johnny. I need your best today, boy. I need your best today. You can't go out tackle. What can you do? What can you do, bro? Oh! Let's go!
CFL Wired, mic's up. Thursday, 12 a.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Pacific time on TSN2. Bo Levi Mitchell just having a miserable afternoon, but he's not alone for the Calgary Stampeder offense.
No, they are a team struggling to get it going right now. But here you see Mitchell taking a hit as he throws the football. Tough to be as accurate as you want with your throw under those circumstances. Taking a shot.
And TJ Heath in the celebration, mimicking firearms or a gun, and that's objectionable conduct. In fact, there was a fine last couple of weeks for that. Can't do that. Takes the ball back to the 32-yard line. Manziel, now he has to scramble again. Now he dances and throws it over the top. And Patrick Lavoie has it inside Calgary's territory. There's some more of that Manziel magic in the backfield. Haven't seen a whole lot of it today. Affording some time and finding his big fullback.
Yeah, terrific job buying time. Changed directions about 3 times on his scramble as he felt pressure from different directions. And this time, again, a good gamble, a good risk. You've got a wide open receiver, a high percentage chance of being able to complete that pass, and he does.
Stanback tries to follow a block, likely another throwing down here. Clock ticking to 3:15 third quarter, and the Alouettes with a 6-0 lead, and they know that that's not enough against the Calgary Stampeders.
One possession hardly makes you relax.
Johnny Manziel has thrown for 226 yards, has 5 receivers top of his screen. That's the most yardage so far in his brief CFL career. He doesn't care about any of that, though. He wants the W. Blitz coming again, and he's getting piled on. Another sack. Once again, an Alouette front line that has given up a lot. This is 4 sacks on the day.
Well, nice job by the Stampeders this time as they're able to converge on Manziel as opposed to all their pass rushers being on different levels. This time it's getting a push all the way across the line, closing in with their contained men to get the job done without allowing any escape lanes for Manziel.
So once again, another turnover, but we have had no points off of turnovers in this ball game. Beatty trying to angle. Looks like a good kick. Will he get it to the corner? He will. Oh, what a kick by Boris Beatty. It's at the 3-yard line.
Found a lower price on tires? We'll match it, guaranteed.
Well, Boris Beatty up against one of the masters today, and Rob Maver so good at finding that coffin corner inside the 10-yard line. That's his 8th kick inside the 10. This one down to the 3-yard line. Long field for Bo and the Stamps.
You mentioned Boris Beatty kind of matching Rob Maver, knowing what he's up against in that particular head-to-head battle. That, to me, has been the story of this game for the Montreal Alouettes, is knowing what they're up against, knowing the standard to which they have to play. They've matched it. Their defense had to be great. They have been great.
Oh, Mitchell slant up near the 10-yard line as the Birds come flying out again, as they are prone to do in afternoon games in Montreal. Set up a 2nd and short yardage for Mitchell. Calgary 4 of 16 and 2nd downs, way below their number. They're almost at 50% on the season. They'll successfully get the first down here.
And it's big with the field position to make sure you put together at least a couple of first downs, even if you're not able to march it all the way down the field. Avoid giving the other team that real short field, or particularly when the ball goes out of bounds at the 3-yard lines on the Boris Beatty punt. Make sure you're not giving the ball back in a situation where Montreal is in immediate scoring position.
Bo Levi Mitchell, 9 picks on the season, 3 today. Coming in, so now 12 on the year. Oh, what a grab from his knees. Juwan Breskison, highlight reel catch. Another first down, a 13-yard gain.
Well, and Breskison continues to add to his personal highlight reel. Number 2 receiver, the trailing man in that cluster. And he's completely down on the turf. Manages to extend the upper body to make that play. Breskison, former high school basketball star.
Calgary extends the drive. 4-man rush for Montreal. Deep shot, caught by Breskison again. Ellis with the tackle, but a flag down in the backfield.
This flag was thrown late. Likely unnecessary roughness. I'm not sure which way.
Major foul, unnecessary roughness. Montreal number 55. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Gabe Napton, so a huge gain, and add 15 onto that. And finally, the Calgary Stampeders can see some points in sight. 39-yard pickup, plus the 15. Could be the final play of this 3rd quarter. Stamps rarely trail after 3. Normally they're leading, and normally when they have a lead after 3, they win. They're 10-0 leading. They're not going to lead here unless they score on this next play. 3 seconds to go, barring penalty.
It'll be interesting to watch the response of the Montreal Alouettes. Really the first big play that they've allowed in this football game. Been so tight defensively through 3 quarters.
2nd and 7. Bo stepping up. He's going to get the first down and more. goes down. Brandon Dozier with a tackle down near the 10-yard line. So unfamiliar position for the Calgary Stampeders, but maybe familiar in Montreal. They're down after 3, but they are threatening here and could be moments away from taking their first lead of the ball game. Thanksgiving Monday rolls on from Montreal. Here come the Calgary Stampeders on this drive. Big bomb, and then a penalty, and now down near the 10-yard line. And Stamps still in a deficit on a lot of the statistical numbers, and still a deficit on the scoreboard, but a chance to score here. And this bird never had a chance, considering that my partner never had a piece of turkey today. This is an absolute first. It wasn't in the menu today for you.
No, tired of the cold turkey.
Tired of the cold. Yeah. Tired of working with me. So we do want to thank our crew for helping demolish the bird. Now Bo Levi Mitchell outside the 10-yard line, and he's going to get a little head start again. Enoch Mwamba in the backfield. They'll move this ahead.
Offside.
5.
Montreal number 10. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
First time either team has been in the red zone inside the 20-yard line all game today. Will the Alouettes break here defensively? They've done a job. It's Stubler and company. Stamps, second last though in red zone production, and they're going to score here. Touchdown, Terry Williams. And there is a penalty flag as there's a skirmish that breaks out in the end zone. So the Stamps tie the game and are a convert away from getting the first lead.
And the way this game has gone, they will opt for the single as opposed to going for 2. We'll see 2 missed tackles by the Stampeders here on Terry Williams. One shot in the backfield. Tommy Campbell has a shot outside the goal line, goes for the collision rather than wrapping up. Williams bounces off of that and makes his way into the end zone for the Stampeders' first score of the ball game.
8-play, 107-yard.
Conduct. Calgary number 63. The 10-yard penalty would be applied in the kickoff.
107-yard drive that took up 241 was penalty assisted as well. Stamps have found the end zone. First team to do that today. Terry Williams, 4th touchdown, 3 return touchdowns. And keep in mind, he also thought he had a return touchdown in this game that was taken back by penalty. Rennie Paredes puts it through on the point after. Calgary has its first lead early 4th quarter. How will the Alouettes respond to this?
First, what we would call adversity of the day for the Alouette defense. Giving up that big play to Breskison was kind of what got it started. He ran that deep corner route. Bo Levi Mitchell dropped in a perfect pass. Mitchell had a nice run to set the Stamps up. 1st and goal. Terry Williams here fights off a couple of would-be tacklers to make his way to the end zone.
So they are shut out no more. Question remains, can the Owls bounce back? Dave Dickinson and the Stamps and their misery in Montreal. Haven't won here since July 12, 2013. as Lawrence Pittman gets a touch on the return. He doesn't get a lot of playing time, so Johnny Manziel, it's up to you. And also, in the offing is an opportunity for Manziel to get his first win. 4 starts so far as a CFL quarterback, still no wins.
Yeah, the response here is going to be big for Montreal. You don't want to let the Stampeders get any kind of momentum behind them.
Behind the line of scrimmage is Jackson. Not sure he got to the initial line of scrimmage. It's going to be 2nd and likely 11.
Yeah, I find Montreal's hitch screen to be
predictable.
Hitches and bubbles to be a little bit slow developing. Yeah. Their blocks are, they're asking blocks to be held for too long a time, or in some cases having too many unblocked guys close to the point of attack.
Play clock coming down to 3 seconds. 3-man rush. Time for Johnny Manziel. Now he finds his man going up high. And Adarius Bowman can't bring it down. Little too high as Tunde Adeleke was in on coverage, and a very quick 2 and out will put the ball back in the paws of the Calgary Stampeders.
Manziel buying a little time, allowing Bowman time to work across the field on the dig route.
Stamps will have the wind in the 4th. Flag down. We'll give you that info when we come back to Montreal. Stampeders with their first lead of the ball game, 7-6. So that penalty, costly one for Calgary. Montreal gets a reprieve. Too many men, which will result in a 3rd and inches now for the Alouettes.
Yeah, top right corner of the screen. Deontay Evans was just limping off the field, injured, so he was late getting off as the ball was being kicked. He's still receiving some treatment over on the Stampeder sideline as Antonio Pipkin comes on in short yardage.
Pipkin goes behind center and will get the first down. Let's see if the Alouettes can capitalize. Looked like they were giving the ball back to Calgary with momentum. Is Evans on the sideline, a team that's had far too many injuries already. Adds another one to the list.
The moral of the story being, if you're hurt, go down, let them come and get you so the team can sort it out.
Jumbo package, their double tight end set and stand back. Minimal gain, 1.5 yards, almost 2. Alouette team that put up some yardage, just never got it to the red zone, and subsequently really haven't had a shot at the end zone in the ball game. The way their defense is played, though, they may not have to in this one. They need some more holds, and they need to move the football. Manziel has to run. There he goes. He's tripped up, and he's still on his feet and finally brought down. Adam Berger. Johnny Manziel might have been able to pick up a first down, but tripped up in the backfield.
Yeah, Jagarrett Davis is the man who slowed him down with the shoestring almost tackle here. That forces him to stumble. Gives Berger a chance to close and make the play.
Tough snap. He boots it back to Terry Williams, who has the only touchdown in this ball game, dominated by defenses on the Canadian Thanksgiving. Usually one highlight catch makes our Shaw connection of the game, but 2 were so nice we do it twice.
Yeah, part of the Alouettes' best offensive drive in this ball game, marching down the field late in the first half, led to a Forrest Beatty walk-off field goal to end the half. Ernest Jackson first. Then it was Manziel to T.J. Graham along the sidelines to follow that up.
Offense for Montreal huddles while Bo Levi Mitchell brings out his offense. Previous drive, they scored. Took them a long time. Mitchell. Juwan Brescacin has been a difference maker in this ball game.
I alluded to it earlier in the ball game, but one of the things that has really been impressive about Juwan Brescacin this season has been how reliable he is in terms of making the tough catches, making contested catches, making catches when he's in what appear to be awkward positions. You know, and that's the kind of thing that as a young receiver, now in his third year, former second-round pick, earns you the trust of your quarterback.
Mitchell bombing for Markin Michel, trying to come back to the football, and they're going to call interference on this play. Tavon Campbell's pleading his case.
Yeah, Tavon Campbell was beaten. Markin Michel was in behind him.
Automatic, first down.
He kind of runs through the receiver as the ball ends up being a little bit underthrown, and Michel's trying to fight his way back to it. Campbell was frantically trying to catch up to the receiver. It ends up impeding him from getting back to the ball. Pretty easy call for the officials.
Vaughn Campbell, who spent some time with the national rugby team in the World 7 Series. Get away with one of those calls in rugby. Mitchell backpedals, and a big hit made near the line of scrimmage. Not much there. Markeith Ambles has his first catch of the ball game. Looks like it's right at the line of scrimmage.
Mitchell had drawn the pressure in well to set up this screen to Ambles. Enoch Mwamba beat his block, recognized what was coming, and at least was there to make the tackle right away on that catch.
Enoch Mwamba and Alex Singleton, among others, battling for the tackles lead in the Canadian Football League. Alouettes bringing the heat here. There goes the ball, and a big hit again on second down. Will be short of the first down. Jermaine Robinson in on the tackle. And will bring out the kick team, and it looks like it's going to be Rennie Paredes coming out. Will have the wind behind him.
And the Alouettes send pressure, knowing that they outnumber them, and the Stampeders in protection. It's going to force a quick throw. They can sit their secondary back at the sticks, come up and make a tackle. It worked out perfectly for them.
Well within the range for Rennie Paredes. 49-yarder. Guy who saw his CFL record streak snapped the other day by Lewis Ward. High snap here. This one will make it. Good work by Rob Maver to bring that down, and Rene Paredes to put it through. Whoops. Yep. And Calgary has a 4-point lead. A kicker can get all the glory or all the blame, but it is a three-man team, and you're setting up for a field goal.
Pierre-Luc Caron with the snap. That would a little high. Rob Maver, the punter, also doubling as the holder for his partner, Rennie Paredes. Maver demonstrating his athleticism. Make the catch and get that one down. Good effort from him.
Another blitz coming. Manziel can't deliver to a Darius Bowman. There's one thing to move the ball in the CFL, put points on the board. It's quite another thing to learn, and to learn the nuance of the game, but to learn how to win. Something the Alouettes just haven't been able to do much in the last 3 or 4 seasons.
Yeah, certainly not with any consistency, just 3 wins this year. 2 of them posted back-to-back by Antonio Pipkin. Johnny Manziel still looking for his first.
3 wins all of last season. Manziel, now he has to sprint out, and here come the Stamps again. And once again, Johnny Manziel, those fleet feet, but chased down, tracked down once more. Emmanuel Davis hobbles off. Watch Jagera Davis. This guy can motor.
This is part of what Johnny Manziel is learning as a CFL quarterback in terms of that ability to escape in the pocket being a little tougher. Is, you know, these aren't your 280-pound defensive ends. These are guys, you know, 230 to 250 that can flat out run. Guys who are typically linebackers in American football. The people chasing you have a little bit of speed too.
Manziel hasn't been able to erase them. That's a 15-yard, no yards penalty with 7:23 to go in a 10-6 game. On the second and final leg of the NBA Canada Series presented by Bell. Comes your way Wednesday from Montreal. Preseason Nets and Raptors, and there is a guy make quite a living in the NBA. Junkyard Dog in the house today. Jerome Williams helping promote that series. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific across the TSN network. Who would be the Junkyard Dog in CFL football? Guy who played like that guy did, played basketball. Got his nose dirty, got the rebounds.
Adam Bighill.
Oh yeah, that's, yeah.
You know, a guy
in on every play.
Pretty skilled grinder.
Yeah, never takes a moment off. Should also say that Jerome Williams has, through the years, done so much charity north of the border and around the Toronto area, across Canada. So many foundations. Great guy. NBA preseason basketball continues this week. Don Jackson. Will this Montreal Alouette defense start to show signs of starting to run out of gas? They've been on the field a lot and had to make big plays here.
Yeah, even through the first half of this game when the Alouettes had the lead, the fact is Calgary was actually still winning in terms of time of possession. Stampeders now starting to put some plays together. And we talked about once Calgary took the lead, you know, would Montreal start to come apart a little bit? I don't think that has happened, but you know, I do think that the fatigue factor may be starting to set in here as we get into the latter half of the fourth quarter.
Hands it off on 1st and 10. Jackson slices Mwamba with his third tackle. Bo Levi Mitchell, by the way, after throwing his third interception, has now gone 8 of 8 in the air. Cool customer, Bo Levi Mitchell. Reason why he's always an outstanding player candidate.
Watch the crash landing from Aaron Rodgers. He's trying to get out of the way of Don Jackson on this play.
Especially a guy just coming back off a knee surgery.
You occasionally see guys trying to hurdle opposing players, usually not hurdling your own guy.
6 minutes to go. Bo tipped that time by Ryan Brown. Got a hand on it. So the Alouettes bend. They'll bring out Paredes once more. This is going to be a longer field goal for Paredes. And it looks like they're going to bring Rob Maver out. Not going to go to Paredes, so they will punt this away. Steph Logan near his 10. Be a little shallow here. And he fields it nicely. And Steph Logan up near the 22-yard line. So Johnny Manziel, also a Texas quarterback, like the guy playing across from him today when he was in high school, was watching Bo Levi Mitchell in college and aspires to be a Canadian Football League quarterback like Bo.
With the way he's playing right now, you know, at an MVP level, you look at it and say, you know, you would have thought this guy came up here with first year out and came up here and has been dominating ever since. But I think the interesting part is him sitting there, him having some time to really get up here and learn it. And what he's done with that, over the course of the last 6 or 7 years has been, nothing short of impressive for sure.
Well, indeed, one of the best, if not the best, in the game. Both Texas quarterbacks, Bo's older than Johnny, but he watched Johnny grow up and saw the fanfare, the Manziel mania that existed. They're separated by about 240 miles. Their hometowns, Katy and Kerrville, Texas. Of course, different colleges, different paths, and here they are.
Yeah, that's the way the world of football goes. A lot of different routes to get here.
Bo has a Grey Cup championship, an MOP. Johnny has the Heisman Trophy, but still looking for his first CFL win. And there he goes again, and that one might be grounding.
He had Patrick Lavoie.
Oh, yeah, Lavoie's over there.
Nearby.
Micah Johnson chasing him down, and this offense is really sputtering now.
And you had a little bit of a feeling, as well as Montreal has played for most of this football game, offensively and defensively. No, they haven't been able to put up points offensively, but for the most part, they've taken care of the football pretty well.
Bobble football. Terry Williams got it back. Stamps will start their 39 with the clock starting to roll. And coming up later tonight, of course, we have the doubleheader coming up next. Riders and Eskimos. Then Monday Night Football. AP and the Redskins. Drew Brees and the Saints. 8:15 Eastern, 5:15 Pacific time tonight on TSN. Go to footballliveshere.com for a complete broadcast schedule. Monday Night Football. Monday Football here on Thanksgiving. And glad all of you are joining us. North and south of the border. And Levi Mitchell going to milk this clock. Big tackle for a loss. Ryan Brown's had an impact in this ball game in the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, Ryan Brown's been an impressive guy. Nice addition to the Alouette defensive line this year. Lined up just to the right side of the goalpost.
13 yards to go.
Nice job fighting across the face of the guard, Shane Bergman.
Still lots of time left, 3:26, but this would be a huge stop for the Alouettes if they can get it. Bo, Brown after him, and a penalty flag, and this could be contact or interference on that far side. Keep this drive going.
Illegal contact, Montreal 24. 10-yard penalty, repeat second down.
Keep an eye here on the halfback, TJ Heath. It's in coverage on Richard Sindani. Once Sindani gets a step on him, saw that little drag on the back of the jersey. Slow him down, keep up with him. That draws the call and gives the Stamps a second and short situation.
Last play before the 3-minute warning. Calgary looking for its 12th win and a losing streak in Montreal. Mitchell, quick hitter, first down by Eric Rogers, right in front of his old teammate Tommy Campbell. It is the 3-minute warning. Stamps look to use the clock. Trying to find a way to victory here in Montreal as we step aside.
Duke Williams back in the Edmonton Eskimos lineup in a big one. Part 2 of our Thanksgiving Day doubleheader. Coming up after this game in Montreal, we go back to Rod and Dwayne.
All right, thank you, Rod. Can you believe it? Another injured receiver for the Stamps, working on the shoulder of Mark and Michel. Isn't there a quota on how many receivers you can actually use during a season? They've gone through so many. Even Michel's probably laughing. I can't believe this. Birds flying. Might be vultures here. Get another first down here, put it into field goal territory. Still a one-possession game. Just one touchdown in the game. Really the turning point so far.
Stamps at this point go back on first down to a two-back set. They'll probably look to try and grind this one out as much as they can, run down the clock.
Second down and 7. Calgary team that hasn't won here in 5 years.
Timeout, Calgary. Timer, can you put 2:09 on the clock?
Usage of the game clock, bringing that down with the play clock. If Montreal is able to get the ball back, and that's a big if right now. Remember what happened last week against Saskatchewan? Johnny Manziel never had a chance. Led the clock right out. Trying to do the same again here. One of the biggest plays of the ball game. Stamps need 7. Owls need a stop. They get the stop. Jermaine Robinson drives snuffer. The key here is it keeps it out of field goal range. A one-possession game. The lead is 4. Owls still need a touchdown. They've got one of the best pinners as a punter out there. Steph Logan returned one back last week for a touchdown. Low driving kick, and it's going to bounce through the end zone wisely. The Alouettes take that out. Maver's not going to be happy with that one.
Yeah, it's a point that doesn't benefit you going from 4 to a 5-point lead. Very much punting for the field position to give the Owls the longest field possible as they're working against the clock here with under 2 minutes to go.
Gave them 35 yards. 1:55 to go. Johnny Manziel, who has not won a meaningful game since 2015. As a starter in the National Football League. Still hasn't won a game in the Canadian Football League. Gonna need some magic. Some good protection. Manziel going deep downfield for Stanback. Going over top. Calgary Stampeders are able to keep that away through that flock of seagulls. Ray Roberson.
Yeah, Stanback had the free release down the sideline. I think there was a little bit of contact here in the battle for the ball, but I think Roberson did a decent job, at least in that jump of going straight up, not bodying the receiver.
Just one first down in the 4th quarter for Montreal. Manziel running, finds his man, and near a first down, there's a flag down. That 2 flags down, one in the backfield, far sideline. Let's see what this call is. It could have
illegal interference, blocking downfield. Montreal 84, 10-yard penalty. We'll repeat second down.
We'll repeat it, bring it back.
George Johnson from his wide receiver spot is going to come in to free up one of the inside receivers to make the catch. Broken play. I think the initial plan was to throw some kind of hitch screen or bubble screen to that side. That's why the receivers were looking to block. Turns into a broken play, and those blocks become illegal. So pass is thrown beyond the line of scrimmage.
2nd and 20. Manziel stepping up. He's going down again. Junior Turner. 1:31 to go. Mike Sherman is going to bring his kick team out and hope that his defense does a number here. Micah Johnson's hurt. Penalties have not helped the Alouettes, certainly. 13 penalties for 145. Calgary just 6 for 60. But again, Manziel is known as a scrambling quarterback, just can't get any room around these rush ends.
Yeah, that's the two D tackles as the Stampeders had a twist on. That kind of freed up Micah Johnson on his side of the field.
Now they're bringing Johnny back out. They're bringing them all back out.
Yeah, I don't think you want to, with 1:31, gamble on getting the ball back. I think you got to take a shot here.
Well, they had brought them all to the field. Now there's these last-minute substitutions. So this is ball game, 3rd and 20. .120 to go, 3rd and 20. They've got to get to the 45. Penalty flag down. Manziel scrambling again. Stays on his feet. Throws it into traffic. It is picked off. Emmanuel Davis has another. That could be ball game. There was a flag down. The only hope for the Alouettes here is it's against Calgary.
Calgary number 95.
It is against Calgary.
5-yard penalty. We'll repeat 3rd down.
So hang on. Make it 3rd and 15 now. Manziel might be just needing an oxygen tank.
Bottom of the screen. Garrett Davis.
Manziel had a run for his life. 1:05. Still hope here for the Owls. They've got to get to the 45-yard line to keep the drive going. Stamps look to rush for. Manziel with 4 seconds on the play clock. 3 seconds. Empties the backfield. Here's that rush again, and down he goes. Junior Turner has another sack.
4-man rush, and that was over in a hurry.
Johnny Manziel, no hope. Looking downfield. And no hope now for the Alouettes in their comeback bid. Pressure from the outside and the inside.
Yeah, Turner, quick outside swim on Christian Matt.
That will be the finishing touch here. Barring some disaster. And the first half was a disaster for the Stampeders, but they, like winning teams do, find ways. Bo Levi Mitchell will finally pick up a win in Montreal. 2 losses here as a starter. The Owls going down to defeat, and the Stamps winning for the first time since July 12th, 2013, when Kevin Glenn defeated Anthony Calvillo. 22-14. Seems like an awfully long time ago. Not saying that against Kevin, because we're not aging. He's still playing. Here in Montreal, that's after Anthony Calvillo, and been searching for wins ever since. 49 to go.
Yeah, and Don Jackson just looking to stay in bounds, didn't want to get himself run to the sidelines that time, so essentially giving himself up.
Paredes comes out. Montreal still could get the ball back, and there still would be an 8-point deficit, 1 possession, still chance, or they could also block this kick. Not quite in the books. Maver to hold. Remember the last time the snap was high. Paredes from the 34. Paredes has missed this. So now the Alouettes, with 25 to go, actually get a touchdown, could win the ball game. Crazier things have happened.
It looked like a pretty clean operation, just wide left by inches, it appeared.
Now through all the seagulls. Now on this, what has turned into a cloudy Thanksgiving afternoon in Montreal. Time for a Hail Mary. Don't need it though. You got 25 seconds. You can get one to midfield.
Yep.
Take another shot. Johnny. They get out of bounds. Ernest Jackson, don't go anywhere.
The clock is actually still running several seconds after the play. I don't know if it started late.
Yeah,
they've got a timing issue though.
Yeah, so they're going to have to figure this out. They didn't start the clock, but
well, they need to go to the replay and figure out the timing because they messed that up.
That play did not take 10 seconds.
Here's the actual clock burned in.
Timer, please put 19 seconds on the clock.
So they'll give him 19 to go. So again, another chance to get it a little closer to the end zone. These birds are all circling over. They're even on the field right now. Manziel. Johnny's going to take off, and he's got to go down. Clock ticks down, and now maybe one play.
Lined up in a hurry.
One play to go. Right now, Johnny Manziel.
If you can get a sideline route, you might have a shot at squeezing in another play if you can get the ball snapped right away here.
57 yards away from victory. There's the sideline route. And one shot left. And you never know. Maybe a miracle win in the books here for the Alouettes. Now what will Montreal come up with? Do they go end zone? Do they hook and ladder it? Final play.
Stamps are dropping deep. Obviously, even their linebackers are 20 yards off from the
three-man rush, and Johnny Manziel is down again. That's it. The Calgary Stampeders and their long losing skid here in Montreal. Bo Levi Mitchell shut out for most of the ball game. The Stamps find a way, as they often do. They pick up their 12th win of the season. Move closer to securing first in the CFL West. The Alouettes lose their fourth straight. They fall to 3-12 on the season, and Johnny Manziel still looking for win number 1. But Bo Levi Mitchell reverses the curse of Montreal. It's been a long time. Time now for our Nissan Titan player of the game. You had to think it would be somebody on a defensive side.
Yeah, and it certainly is. Both these defenses were fierce all day long. Ultimately, it was Calgary's defensive line that got the job done, and they were led, as they so often are, in his defensive tackle position by number 4, Micah Johnson. 5 tackles, 2 sacks on the game, and he is our Nissan Titan player of the game.
Calgary Stampeders, 6 sacks. Alouettes just could not find the end zone. They got some field goals, had the lead early, and had hope. Bo Levi Mitchell and the Stampeders snuff it out, and they get the win here. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. No thanks today for Montreal football fans as we send it back to Rod and the guys in the studio.
Thank you, Rod.